All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Awesemo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. Got a shorter slate to talk about today. Four games, some line changes to be aware of. We'll look at Nolan Kelly's article that he put up on Awesemo.com to help us get through these line changes, kind of get everything in one place. There are resources. Twitter's a great resource to find out line change information, but I like what Nolan's doing with the line change news and notes article. It really helps me. I always read it before I come on here and just kind of get my head straight as to who's playing with who. He gives de-stacking recommendations and such, so would definitely recommend checking that out if you are serious about playing NHL DFS. Even if you do follow along all the time, like I try to, you miss stuff going through researching every single day, or you just forget about stuff when you're on stream like I do. All right, so the weekend, played some on Saturday, played some yesterday, had a pretty good weekend, and looking to keep it going here. So 4 games, and there are a couple big ownership spots. I think they're pretty obvious. Carolina 1 is going to be very, very popular. Dallas 1 is going to be very, very popular. I think rightfully so on both accounts. Dallas 1 does have Sagan, Ben, and Radulov back together, so that certainly helps. People love playing them when they're together, and too bad it's not a bigger slate where we get them at lower ownership, because I think it's a really, really awesome spot. The one game I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to parse through is the Rangers game, Rangers Canucks game, the first one actually that we're going to talk about, the first one on the lineup builder that you're seeing on the screen. It's there's not going to be a hard match situation, at least I wouldn't expect there to be based on what we've seen from the Rangers at home. So that makes it a little bit tougher. I think the other 3 games are just much easier to kind of identify the good plays and the plays that you might want to stay away from. Short slate, so I mean, a lot of things are in play. As always, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do as far as lineup construction. 4-3-1 or 3-3 has been working for me a little bit more lately, but I think you definitely can do like some 5-2-1, some 3-3-2, stuff like that. And it's going to be tough to correlate the goalies is one thing that I'm noticing. The teams, like especially if you're going to Carolina, correlating with Darling, I don't think Darling's that great of a play. Correlating with Lundqvist would be nice, but he's almost 8K. And like Nashville's a team I also like quite a bit. And Rene, if he goes, is 8,100. So it's going to be a little bit tough to correlate your goalies if you're trying to use up all your salary. On shorter slates, it's nice to have the option to leave salary on the table. I think you can definitely do that tonight. And people are going to be trying to jam in Carolina and Dallas and Nashville. So if you can make a well-correlated lineup and leave $1,000 left on the table, I think this is the perfect kind of slate to do that. Only if you're comfortable with your lineup. Don't do it intentionally, but if it happens that way, might as well do it and get some differentiation. Nice job edging me out at the top yesterday. Oh yeah, that was good for me. I saw I was coming down to the wire and I was trying not to tilt it, but yeah, that $8. Too bad it wasn't a real tournament, right? Like it was 2K up top, which is nice, but normally that tournament's like 5 to 10. So what would have had you if Larson's goal wasn't changed to an assist? Yeah, I didn't watch, so I don't know. Some of the beat writers are saying on maybe the who scored the goal, was it Rantanen or Kerfoot? They were saying that should have been someone else's goal, or it should have been Tyson Yost's goal, and then Gerard would have lost the assist. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but it seems like Try not to worry about those breaks too often. They're always memorable, though, when it doesn't go your way, I guess. Using Walmart opens things up for Carolina stacks listed on PP1 on daily faceoff. I've been trying to stay away from using daily or like relying too heavily on daily faceoff. I think that they guess sometimes, and you have to put someone there if you're going to list the power play units. But I just like to look at what they did last game. If there's nothing from the beat writers, I tend to just go with what they did last game. Things change in the games, but yeah, I don't take too much I don't take DFO too much into account, especially with the power plays. The lines, I'm more trustworthy on them. Walmart had 8 shots last game. Yeah, Corsi, if you're in here, he told me that the Carolina threes last game had 18 shots on goal total or something ridiculous. Walmart, Martinuk, and Svechnikov. Is that right? They're not really a line that I considered all that much, but probably should. I mean, I should include third lines. It's a 4-gamer, so it's right on the edge of, do I include third lines? Do I include a handful of them? And maybe I just include a handful of them on my crunches. Probably going with like 50 lineups tonight. So we shall see. They probably fit nicely with Dallas 1. That's something we could look at using the lineup builder tool. At the conclusion of the 4 games, Carolina was close to 50 shots the other night. I think they did get to 50. That was against Detroit. Yeah, I had Carolina 1. Oh, yeah, including OT. Yeah, I had Carolina 1 that night, so there's such a tilt. Carolina is highest total on the board tonight. Well deserving. My numbers, absolutely love them. Fantasy Crunchers numbers, love them. Probably any projection system you look at, whether it's mine or somewhere else, everyone's going to love Carolina tonight. All right, should we just get into these games? We got enough people in chat. But if you guys could give us a like, that would be great. It helps us do this for free. Continue to do it for free. We're trying to build a viewer base, and your likes help. So if you do enjoy the show, please toss us a like. Still, promo code Hit the Ice. You get Osmo's rankings for a week. You get my projections for a week. Fantasy Cruncher is included. The lineup builder that you see is included. You can export from this lineup builder. Osmo has player and stack rankings, if you guys don't know. So he's got all the individual players listed A through E, and then all the stacks listed A through E, ranks every single line, which is super helpful. Something I always look at. The premium Slack chat's also included in the week-long membership, so it's completely free. Go sign up. Try us out for the week. All right, Vancouver and the New York Rangers, 2.8 total for Vancouver, 3.1 for the Rangers. We have Jacob Markstrom, 7,300 on DK. Lundqvist, 7,900 on DK. First of all, I think both of these goalies are fine for GPPs. They're not players I'm trying to avoid. There's really only one goalie I kind of want to intentionally avoid tonight. So neither of these guys are that goalie. Do like the look of Zibanejad, Nemesnikov, and Spooner all on the top power play, at least listed there. And then Hayes, Kreider, and Elias Anderson. Is it Elias or Elias? I think that line's okay. I do lean towards the Rangers side in this game. So I'm with Vegas. I project them to have more goals than Vancouver in this game more times than not. But the line that was actually coming up a little bit for me when I was running Dallas 1 crunches today was the third line. And let me pull up my numbers right here. Move them over here so just I can see them, because this isn't all that important. All right, let's see. Rangers 3. Yeah. All right. So they have 50 minutes together on ice. VC Brett Howden and Jesper Fast. 50 minutes, 54 Corsi 4 percentage about. Looking at their scoring chances, they're over 30. High danger chances, 15.3. They're still under 60 minutes, so you can't make a Lias. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Sounds European. Can't make, you can't take that to the bank and say this line's awesome, but they're at home. They're going to see the depth for Vancouver, which is something you can certainly attack, even though Vancouver's been awesome on the road. I think it's pretty fluky. They've done a better job defensively, but I think if you're going for a cheap line stack with Dallas 1 and you're just running out even strength lines, New York 3 would be in there for me. The top 2 lines are also somewhat decent values. Kevin Hayes is way up on my projections, so I'm glad to see that Osmo has him as an A value in A points grade. I definitely agree with that. And then Lias is 3,100, so he makes that line incredibly affordable. Zibanejad's line mates are affordable, so there's definitely some value on the Rangers. I think all these lines are somewhat in play, but I'm probably going to have the most as far as full stacks of that third line, as weird as it is to say. Probably more like 10%, and I think that's even a little bit higher than I should go on a third line on a 4-game slate. But that's about where they're coming up for me. Much more skill in the Hayes line. Yeah. Man, Hayes' numbers are he's just been creeping up on my projections. And yeah, Osmo agrees. Spooner is a fine value. He's got him listed as an A. Third line is never owned. Yeah, it's going to be completely unowned. Not completely, but 2-3% owned type of thing on a 4-game slate. And they have really good numbers, so definitely willing to take a chance when we've got some expensive lines we want to fire up. Talking to you, Carolina and Dallas top lines. On the Vancouver side, I think Elias Pettersson is going to be pretty highly owned. His line mates are somewhat affordable. Looking at this line in total, let's see, they're 13-3, 17-3 in total. I don't have them projected for all that many points. Yeah, the Rangers don't really hard match. They did a little bit maybe towards the beginning of the season or last season. I can't even remember. But as of late, they haven't been hard matching, so can't really use that as a tool in this game, I don't think. So Pettersson, Virtanen, and Goldobin, I think, are a fine stack. They're probably the only full stack I would want to fire up on the Vancouver Canucks. Roussel in the top line, or the quote-unquote top line, with Horvat and Eriksson is just whatever for me. I think Horvat is fine if you're power play stacking, and that's really about it. I don't like his line mates at all, so it's going to be the Pettersson line for me. When I go to Vancouver, if I go to Vancouver, Tanev is a guy that's coming up a little bit as a value for me, just for 3,900. Doesn't get the power play time, but should see a ton of minutes. Same thing with Hutton, but he's a little bit more expensive for 4,600. Yep, last season they tried to get Zibanejad against top line. New coach this year. Yep, that makes sense. On the Ranger side for defensemen, Pionk's my preferred guy, but he's 5K, so probably going to be dipping down to some Tony DeAngelo or Brady Shea in there. These guys used to be just dirt cheap, and now they've all gone up like 20%, so it makes it a little bit tougher for me to play them. I don't have them like Osmo as any sort of great values. The value on New York is in the forwards tonight. I think that's pretty clear. All right, next game. The Blackhawks and the Carolina Hurricanes. Got some notes on this one, so I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So, as you can see on the screen, we've got Taves and Kane back together with Nick Schmaltz. This line does not really have any prior history together. Kane and Taves have history together, of course. 2 out of these 3 guys, they all have some time together. But Kane and Taves, you expect them to be super high event both ways. I mean, I just kind of scratch my head, like, why would you want to put Taves and Kane together in this matchup? Stahl is going to hard match them. Like, he could have gone up against the Kane line, could have gone up against the Tays line, but at least you make him think, and now you've got another scoring line. Now you just have nothing after the top line, in my opinion. I mean, DeBrincat's down there, but he's with Kampf and Cahoon. That doesn't really do much for me, and DeBrincat's 6,200. So outside of a power play stack, I think DeBrincat is kind of out of play, as are any other Chicago lines, not Tays, Kane, and Schmaltz. So we know we're going to see Stahl with Williams and McGinn, not Fogle. Fogle got moved down to the fourth line. So that Stahl line is going to hard match Tays, Schmaltz, Kane. The Blackhawks made it super easy for them for whatever reason. Stahl, Williams, and Fogle has been awesome together at even strength. With McGinn last year, Williams and Stahl were fantastic. I mean, they have a very good chance of shutting that line down. Tays and Kane together is great offensively, but I don't think they're just going to maul over this Stahl, Williams, McGinn line. So I'm certainly lower than the field. I think people are going to, on Chicago 1, I think people are going to want to fire up Tays, Kane, and Schmaltz. Schmaltz makes that line very affordable. You see him as an A ranking in an A value grade in Osmo's rankings. Understandable for sure. That line is, 9, 17, what is that? 17-1 to stack. No, 17-3. Whatever, I'm trying to do mental math. Anyways, they're affordable. And it's Kane and Tays. So people will see the new toy, want to use them. It's understandable. But this is very lopsided in... That's a good question, Matt. This is very lopsided in Carolina's favor, I think, as far as expected goals. You look at chances for and against. Home road, Blackhawks give up the fourth most scoring chances against per 60 and fourth most high danger chances against per 60 on the road. Carolina literally leads the NHL at home in Corsi 4 per 60, scoring chances 4 per 60, high danger chances 4 per 60. They're probably up there in expected goals. It's just such a good spot for Carolina, specifically that top line. I think Stahl, Williams, McGinn are somewhat going to have their hands full, and they just don't have kind of the appeal of the top line. You see everyone on the top power play, Aho, Ferland, Teravainen. That line's struggled a little bit lately, but they're going to be super high event. They should be able to roll over whether they face the second, third, or fourth line, and it's very likely they see very, very minimal time against Tays, Kane, and Schmaltz. So hard not to love Carolina 1. They're going to be chalk, but it's just I don't see anywhere around. I don't see how they don't at least have the chances to have an incredible game. And then even if they don't get it done at even strength, which I don't know how they wouldn't. Carolina puts up a million shots every game, but even if they don't get there at even strength, they're all in the top power play too. Now Carolina's power play isn't great, but neither is the Blackhawks kill. So Carolina 1, I mean, just fire them up. They're a great play. If you're fading them, it's because of ownership. I think that's really about it. Svechnikov, Walmark, and Martinuk are a fine secondary play. Again, a third line with some appeal. They fit in with Dallas 1. Good way to not necessarily get leverage off of Carolina 1, but just go in a different direction than the masses. And Carolina 3 is probably going to have more ownership than that Rangers third line that I mentioned, but still not going to be over like 6 or 7% at most in large field tournaments. Defenseman here for the Hurricanes, Dougie Hamilton's my preference, but Falk is technically on the top power play. So I guess he's worth his $5,200 price tag. I think going Carolina 1 with Hamilton is a way to get somewhat different. People are just going to plug in Falk. Optimizers are going to plug in Falk, but I'd rather go Hamilton all day and hope he's lower owned. He's just a way better play, and he's priced higher and not on the top power play, so maybe people get off of him in some fashion. On the Blackhawks side, you see Brent Seabrook at 5,700. I mean, he's overpriced for sure, but if you are stacking the Blackhawks top power play, that's fine. He's not going to be heavily owned. And then the rest of these guys would just be punt options or guys that end up in one-offs. If I run 4-3-1, Gustafson is a fine value. I do agree with Osmo as an A value. And then the rest of these guys don't really matter to me. Van Riemsdyk's back in the lineup for the Hurricanes. If you do need a punt, and you might tonight if you're double stacking and playing Dallas 1, Van Riemsdyk is a guy that I'm okay using at 2,700. Verlander at 5K, yeah, he's kind of deserved it, honestly. I mean, he's, whatever. If you want to say he's a 6K forward here, then fine. But the line in total, I think, is fairly priced. So Verlander being a few $100s more expensive than he should be is fine with me. It's not like he's not doing anything. So he's been very, very good for DFS at least. Goalies here, Cam Ward in the narrative game. Osmo has him as an A value. I think he gets peppered here. I think anyone that's watched hockey this year thinks Cam Ward's going to get peppered here. Could he have a great game? Sure. As a one-off goalie, if he can somehow pull out the 45 save, 1 goal allowed game and get a win here, then yeah, he's going to be the goalie you need for under 7K. I just think he's going to see a ton of high danger chances, and I don't really want a goalie that's going to see a ton of high danger chances. So I'm much more on the Carolina side. I don't really like goalie leverage all that much. Ward's just going to see a million shots. Darling is the guy I kind of want to avoid tonight. He's 8,200. Salary is pretty important, especially if you're going to Dallas 1, which I am. So I actually have him projected pretty low, probably lower than other places you'll see. I just don't think he's going to see the volume as Carolina dominates possession. Carolina Josh stack certainly in play. If you had the Josh stack Carolina, would you want the second and third lines with the second or third line with the first? I think first and third would be pretty cool for a Josh stack. You could still get a decently priced 1 or 2 man stack after that. We can do that later. I think this is a definite Carolina Josh stack spot on a shortish slate. Josh stack, for people that don't know, if you're watching, is just a 5 or 6 man stack on the same team on DraftKings, where you usually use the goalie as well and just basically onslaught a team and hope they put up 5, 6, 7 goals. And this would be the spot I'd want to do it for sure. Darling's much more affordable on FanDuel, then sure, yeah. I think you're just relying too much on win equity here, and he's probably going to get the win, or he's got a good chance to get the win, but could definitely see him seeing 25 shots or under, and that's not really something I want for $8,200. All right, next game, Columbus and Dallas. We have Sergei Bobrovsky going up against Anton Khudobin. I'm seeing a 3 implied total for the Blue Jackets, and then we've got 2.9 for Dallas, but I think they're actually up to 3.1 right now. So it doesn't really matter. There are a few lines that I'm considering in this game. It is Dallas 1, projecting way better than any individual line. Can you afford them is the question. I mean, they're somewhat affordable. 27 on DraftKings to stack in total. But I do like some third lines here. I do even like a third line in this game somewhat. Actually, now that we've got Duclair on the fourth line, I did forget about that. If Duclair's on the fourth line, that makes the third line for Columbus a little bit less sexy for me. Yeah, Dubinsky there. I like Duclair, Wenberg, and Bjorkstrand. So probably going to lay off Columbus 3 and take that back a bit. As far as matching goes here, we're going to see most likely Pitlick, Faxa, and Como go up against Dubois, Panarin, Atkinson. It's not going to be a super hard match. It's not going to be like what we're seeing the last game with Stahl on Tays. But they're going to see a good amount of time against Columbus 1. They're actually a decent line as far as limiting chances, so I'm not crazy about Columbus 1. They're priced okay on DraftKings. I kind of like the second line, Jenner, Foligno, and Anderson, especially now that we can't, or now that I really don't want to use the third line for Columbus. So if I'm going to a secondary line here, I think it is Columbus 2 and not the third line. It's just, on Dallas' side, I just think they're such a good play. If I'm going one lineup tonight, I would have at least 2 out of 3 of Seguin, Ben, and Radulov. Radulov coming back from injuries, confirmed in the lineup. These guys are projecting so well for me based on what Columbus has done at even strength on the road. Bobrovsky and net does hurt a little bit, but man, they should crush the second and third lines. I would think they're all in the top power play. You can certainly fit them. Heiskanen at 5,100 makes it affordable as well. If you're going to a full power play stack, you can even get Spezza in there somewhere for 4K. But yeah, Dallas 1. It's a Dallas 1 night for me. Gonna have a ton of them. I know it's chalky, but that's the way I'm going. So Columbus is going to steal this win tonight. I mean, Bablo owned and likely just correlated. Yeah, I think Bobrovsky with Columbus 1 or Columbus 2, I think that's fine. It's one line you really have to worry about on Dallas now that they've stacked the top line again. I think the top line gets it done here for Dallas, but if you're correlating goalie tonight, Bobrovsky is one of the best, and he's 7,700. Fair price in a game that's Vegas thinks it's going to be pretty close. So it's logical. I'm not saying it's a bad play at all. Seth Jones is the guy I want on D for Columbus. Werenski in the doghouse. He's at 4,800, but he's on the third pairing, which makes it a little bit tougher. I guess technically third pairing. I haven't looked at how many minutes he's played in the last couple games. Murray is another guy that I think is usable on Columbus. He's not great offensively, but block shots are fine as well for 3,600. He's a C value. I think I would agree with that. He'd be somewhere in the B-C value for me too, if I had my own rankings. On the stars, it's Heiskanen. I think he's a fantastic play for 5,100 if you can fit him with Dallas 1. And then the other guy I like, or the guys I like, are Lindell and Honka, both paired together. You can go with a double D-man stack if you want. The problem is they're playing on power play 2, so a little bit less appealing than a guy like Heiskanen. Polak is 2,700. Osmo has him as an A value. Not my favorite guy to play in DFS, but probably going to see 20-plus minutes. I think that's fair. And playing with Heiskanen. So if you do like Heiskanen and you need $2,700 for their defenseman, then I don't think Polak is a terrible play. I like doing the double defenseman stack on these shorter slates. But I mean, I'd like to not have Polak in my lineups if I can avoid it. Khudobin, should probably talk about him. I think he's fine to correlate with Dallas 1 if you're not game stacking this. He's just a somewhat average goalie for me in my rankings. Going to be middle of the pack, and it's a fair price for a guy who is in a basically pick-em game. So no strong takes on Khudobin there. Predators and the Ducks. We've got a 3 implied total for Nashville, 2.4 for the Ducks. Some news in this game to talk about. First of all, Pecorine expected to go for the Preds. Nothing confirmed yet. Gibson expected to go for the Ducks. I don't think either of these teams play tomorrow. I know the Ducks don't. Let me check to see if the Preds play tomorrow, just to make sure. Oh, they do play tomorrow. Okay, so I had that wrong. Maybe it could be Saros tonight. Right now, they're showing Pekka. Either way, I think both guys are going to be priced fairly against this Ducks team. Ducks doing some remodeling here. Andre Kasha is back for Anaheim. Patrick Eves may not be playing. The Ducks are just a complete mess. You've got Getzlaf and Raquel together. With Silfverberg, I think that line is the one that I want if I'm going to Dallas. I don't know what to expect from Kasha. He's not cheap at all. He's 4,800 coming back and not playing with Henrique or Getzlaf. I think that hurts him a little bit playing with Kessler. We're probably going to see Getzlaf go up against Johansson, Forsberg, and Colton Sissons. Sissons is filling in for Victor Arvidsson, who is back on IR. I think he hurt his hand on Saturday's game. Sissons just had a hat trick, so to say he can't do it or he doesn't have some offensive upside, I think would be somewhat foolish. But I don't really love him up there, line one. I think that this line's going to come up now in optimizers. So if you're in MME tournaments, or you're in large field tournaments, I should say, then Sissons is a guy that's going to come up in optimizers, and I'd rather not go there. I do like the Nashville second line, Turris, Fiala, Smith. Just very good numbers together going back to the start of last season. Really awesome numbers in 2017. Very good this year. They seem like they never get there. I don't know why they don't. Fiala and Smith can both score goals. Turris isn't a guy that's going to shoot a ton, but they're just so well priced. They fit with Dallas 1. They fit with Carolina. So they're just going to end up in a lot of my lineups tonight. And they're also going to see some time against the Kessler line. Kessler's been atrocious this year, no matter who he's played with defensively. Just tons of high danger chances. Matt asks, are those Ducks lines announced somewhere or just a guess? I think they're kind of a guess. I did some searching before the show and I couldn't find anything on the Ducks lines. One of the beat writers yesterday said that Kasha was supposed to be back tonight and he was skating with Kessler and Richie, which you see on the screen right now. So I think they probably guessed after that. Cagliano with Henrique and Pontus Aberg. I think Aberg could actually slot up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. I mean, we've seen this line before. Getzlaf, Raquel, Aberg. And we've also seen Silfverberg with Henrique and Cagliano before. So who knows what they do. He looked so bad against the Wild. Yeah. I'm trying to think, which game was that? Like, what day was that game on? The Wild have looked incredible the last 3 games. I watched a lot of Wild games, but just the eye test. They put Stahl, Granlund, and Zucker back together, and they're just crushing everything. Yeah, let's see. This Wild game against the Ducks. This was the 9th, 3 days ago, Friday. Let's see what Kessler did that game and who he was matched up against. Kessler was up against Parisi, Koivu, Niederreiter. That line got smashed at even strength, gave up 3 high danger chances. I don't know what's going on with Kessler. Maybe he's just not good anymore. Yeah, they were horrible. Aberg was the best player last game. I mean, very well could be. The Ducks are a train wreck in my eyes. They've got a few good players, and Getzlaf, Raquel. I mean, Kasha coming back helps for sure, but I don't really like him with Kessler, so they're kind of off my radar. If I'm going to a Ducks stack here, it's probably that top power play stack, and specifically Getzlaf and Raquel with Fowler. So that's really all I have on the Ducks. If you want to plug in Luke Shen or Jacob Larson for 3,100 and 2,500, be my guest. It's not really something I want to do. On the Predators side, for defenseman, Yossi's my preferred play. Once again, A value. I do agree. I think he's starting to get priced fairly. 6,200, fine price for me. Ryan Ellis, Roman Josi, another D-man, double D stack opportunity here. I like the Nashville onslaught too. If you're looking for one, the Getzlaf Raquel pairing has been pretty bad defensively as well. So there's really nothing I'm scared of on the Ducks side outside of John Gibson, who can stand on his head. He's going to see a ton of shots, so if he can somehow pull out a win at 7,400, he is a very good value for goalie. He's going to see a ton of shots. If they can limit the quality chances somehow, then Gibson's got a chance for a huge performance. But he'd be more of a one-off goalie or a guy that I'm going with just to sprinkle in there with Raquel and Getzlaf and that top power play. $7,400 home Gibson is ridiculous though. Yeah, it's a great price for sure for a top 3 goalie, especially with the extra shot volume. Yep. The only guys that could keep the puck out of the offensive zone were line 1 and Aberg. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say daily faceoff is just outright wrong, or that what we have on the screen is wrong. It could be Aberg with Getzlaf and Raquel, just because we've seen that line. But who knows? We're probably not going to know until closer to lock. So if you want to play some Ducks, I would suggest having some salary open if you do go, or if you think Aberg is going to be on that top line. Yeah, the Ducks have gotten smoked a bunch of times lately. They had one very good game against, who was that against? Now I'm forgetting. They had one, not very good game, but where are they at? It was against the Kings, so they lost 4-1, but they actually looked like the better team. I remember watching some of that game, and they did look like the better team for the first couple periods. They just didn't have the goals go in. Outchanced the Kings, out-attempted them. And then you look at like their last 10 games, and they're just getting crushed on shot attempts, scoring chances against, high danger chances, everything. Last game against the Wild, and this was a home game for the Ducks. You've got the benefit of last change and all that. They had 1 high danger chance at even strength. They gave up 14 high danger chances. The Ducks are not a very good team. Maybe they have an inspired performance tonight with Kasha back. I don't know. But I'm all over Nashville here. Really like the value of that second line. But again, you could certainly onslaught them. They're the other team. I wouldn't mind doing that outside of Carolina. All right. Oh, we should probably mention Subban. 5,600 correlates well to that top line. But if you can, I would try to get up to Yossi unless you're running a full Nashville 1 stack. Kings are miserable. 2 of 10. Oh, they're 2 and 10 their last 12. Yeah, the King. Talk about another team. The Wild just spanked. It was the Los Angeles Kings. But yeah. All right. So what were the couple things? Oh, we got a message here in Premium Slack. How do I add Kasha in Cruncher? That's a good question. The manual line edit button on Fantasy Cruncher hasn't been working. I don't know if it hasn't been working for other sports, but it's really important in NHL and it hasn't been working. So I've had to go make manual changes after I download my lines, which is kind of frustrating. But maybe some of the pros that don't pay as much attention and they just have NHL as a secondary sport won't get these guys changed out. So as they're focused on NBA, which they probably have tens and thousands of more dollars on NBA compared to NHL. You can stack Dallas 1 with Carolina 1 and run Darling on FanDuel. Come on. You're kidding. I don't think I'm playing on FanDuel tonight. I'm not going super heavy. I had a nice night last night, but I don't want to give it all back tonight because I am really with the chalk, or what I expect to be the chalk tonight. So you can do Carolina 1. Why is Radulov only 6K? Darling 7,600. Okay, let's see. Can we get Hiskinen in there? Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Wow. That is some Charmin ultra soft pricing. That's bad. Yeah, so this doesn't make me want to play on FanDuel. Sorry, FanDuel, but that's just way too easy. Those lines are going to be 30% owned. You can't really do it on DK. Let's try to do it on DK. I think I tried this earlier. You would really, really have to punt. Yeah, just play cash on FanDuel. Sure. Just fit in all the best plays. All right, let's see. Can you even do it? No, you can't do it. Nope, not even possible. All right, let's try out some Carolina onslaughts. I mean, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't be possible to fit in the 2 best plays of the night on a 4-game slate, unless there's some crazy line switching or a guy that's mid-salary gets bumped up with Sagan and Ben or something like that. That's not the case here. So Svechnikov on power play 1, you can go with Walmart. Get my boy Dougie in there. So this is the 6-man, and then you're supposed to go to complete the Josh stack. You go with the goalie in there. Who has that line ranked 25th in the NHL? And which line? Like Dallas 1 or Carolina 1? All right, so you want to do something like this. I like the 5-man stack more than the 6, just because I like having a 2-man elsewhere going 5-2-1. But I think the 6 stack is fine here. Would anybody be shocked if Carolina learns how to finish tonight and they put up, what, 5-6 goals? You can easily see that. Radulov doesn't fit. There you go, Fiala. So I would do something like this. You take 2/3 of the top line and the third line, something like that. You take out Teravainen. You put in Fiala Smith, the guys that if Nashville 2 does get there, it's a good chance these two are doing the damage rather than like with the goals at least. Turris might get assists, but the odds of him having a huge game without one of these guys going nuts is pretty low. So you take the best parts of Nashville 2. Now you got 6,700 left to spend. I mean, just get your guy, go Seth. Not a ton of expensive defensemen here. Go Hiskinen. You can go, Yossi. Can't forget about Yossi. Oh, wait, but then I'd have to get out. So you could go back to this. You can go Yossi. Now you got 4,800. So if you did want to go with the full Carolina 3, oh wait, can we do this? Probably can't. Ellis is the second D in your stack. Oh, you want, well, like the double defensive stack, you could certainly do that. We got to get exposure to 3 different teams now. Whatever, you could do whatever you want here. It doesn't really matter. You understand the point. It's just a way to get a different lineup construction. Jenner, you can get Hamilton, go down to Falk. There you go. Something like that. I like the 5-mans quite a bit. What else should we do? Okay, someone asked for FanDuel crunches before. I don't think it makes sense to do FanDuel crunches just because you can apparently fit in whichever line you want with whichever line you want. So I'd rather not do that. We've got about 10 more minutes. NBA, there is a pretty big slate, I think 8 or 9 games. Laffy and Adam will be doing the deeper dive show. We'll have live before lock, as always. I think it's Fast Eddie Fear and possibly Chris Baggs. Osmo also has his Showdown NFL rankings, NBA rankings, all that stuff. So if you are interested in NBA or NFL tonight, definitely want to stick around. Give our channel a subscription. Give this show a like if you could, so we can continue to do it for free. If you guys want to know how to get a free week of Osmo NHL Premium, promo code HitTheIce does so, you get access to everything that is listed on the site. So you go right here for an entire week. There you go. So you basically get this package for free. Promo code Hit the Ice. Pretty good deal. Free 99. All right, this is Nolan's article. The NHL line changes. Definitely want to give this a look if you're playing tonight, especially if you're managing multiple lineups. See, you've got the McGinn to line 2 for Carolina highlighted there. That's certainly important. Look at this. Even the power play. He's keeping up on everything. Good job, Nolan. Just crushing it with this article. Super easy to read. He makes it interesting. So I would definitely check this out after the show if you have not already. I'll post a link to it just because I'm a nice guy and I want you to read Nolan's article. What else should we do? Maybe some DraftKings crunches. You guys are being pretty quiet. All right. So let's do like a 4-man. No. Let's do a 3-man with a 2-man, but let's make a rule where we stack the defenseman with at least 4 players. So we'll just basically do what we just did with that Carolina stack and see what we can fit in. So we're going to get some funky looking lineups, but we're basically going to get 5-man. Got to change that. That's very crucial. We're going to get 5-man stacks on one team. We'll have a defenseman and 4 forwards from one team. And then we will have a 2-man forward stack from another team. And then a 1-off defenseman. So we'll run 5-2-1s here. Nashville crunch. Yeah, we'll for sure get some Nashville in here, I think. Probably should change this to like 30% so we get a good spread of each team. Oh no. Two players. Oh. What's wrong here? Oh, stack 1D. Fantasy Cruncher, always catching me. All right. So I like to run these on some shorter slates just because it's a funky lineup construction and you're still doing like the onslaught, quote unquote, but or the Josh stack, but you just do this. And for these, I would go through each one of them. Like I wouldn't want Fogle in here. I wouldn't want a 4th liner. So I'd probably play around with this and get down from Pionk to someone like, let's go down to Murray, just see what we can get instead of Fogle. It's like that. I like a lot better. You've got some guys on the power play together. Man. Hayes, Anderson, Kreider. So you got full Rangers 2 with VC as the 4th forward, and then Shattenkirk. That one probably needs a little bit of a makeover as well. Someone wanted Nashville. See, there's a bunch of yellow in here. Johansson, Sissons, Forsberg. You've got the Smith, one off, or I guess to complete the 4-man forward stack, and then Ellis. Yeah, that's a lineup that I like a lot because you've got 4 forwards on power play 1. Kind of tough to beat that against the Woke Ducks. What else looks good here? Where's the Dallas ones? Let's see if we can get full Dallas. Do we not have any 5-man? Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, that's the problem. They're pretty expensive when you try to get all these guys in here. Polak. Let's see if you can do Turris down to Fiala. And now, actually, what we're going to do here, put him there for now for a placeholder. We're going to put him as Spezza. Where's he at? Okay, now we're going to do Smith. Fiala. And then we've got a ton of money left over. Look at that. Oh, wait. Let's do Slavin. Or you could even go like this. Put Murray in there. Hiskinen. Full power play 1 stack with Rene in net. 1-off defenseman. Take your pick here. $3,800 or cheaper. Good correlation. That's the type of 5-man that I would love to run. So that's how I would do it. If you are getting away from 4-3-1, I don't know yet if I am, but these look pretty appealing to full power play stack. Might be something I should consider. All right, that's probably enough for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Steve and I will be back tomorrow. Let's look at the slate for tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to do it off screen. Just quickly eyeball how many games there are. Tomorrow, we've got 9 games, it looks like. Should be a really good one. Got a couple late night hammers. Ooh, the Sharks play. Preds on the back-to-back. Nice. This should be, hopefully we'll have some money in our pockets after tonight. Hit me up on Twitter or in Slack if you need me for any reason, if you need help with Cruncher, if you are new to Cruncher and you just joined or you did the free trial. I'd love to try to help you guys out. If you want some help with the lineup builder, anything, you can hit me up in the premium Slack or Twitter. Osmo's rankings are updated for tonight. I will have another projections update coming up right around 6:30 Eastern or so. That's usually when you get the last projections update, when the 7 Eastern games start their pregame skate. Read the power play article as well. That is also on Osmo.com. Read Nolan Kelly's article. And then finally, give us a like if you could. We will be back tomorrow. Good luck, guys. See you at the top of the leaderboards.